What up, y'all? Welcome back to FREQ. It is Monday, or it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And we have a very special guest today. We have Hudat over here.
What's up?
DJ Hudat.
Welcome, welcome.
It's good to be here.
We're all out here. Kim just moved back here from New York.
Yeah, we met in New York and then Boston.
We met in New York. I was just telling Hebe how we met during Fashion Week and just like how inspired I was to see you DJing like these dope ass fucking fashion events, playing fucking trap music.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was like so inspiring because like shit, that's what I want to do, you know?
Yeah.
And
that's
like
awesome.
the energy, like all the people out there that were just vibing to your set, and you know all your friends that came out to see you, like that shit was just so dope.
That's so awesome to hear.
I loved it, and then Hudat DJ'd performed, same shit. Hudat DJ'd at Purple the next
Boston.
week.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Purple and Good Life and
Steady
you will be missed. Steady leaning. You know, everybody that's part of that fucking amazing time in my life. And I'm so happy to have met you through that too.
Yeah, for sure. No, I was just thinking like your music taste was so fire too. I was like, yo, this is so dope because it's like it's really rare to actually find other DJs who play like trap or like underground music. It
is. And especially like female DJs too. So that's why like when I heard you spinning, I was like, oh my God, like this is amazing.
No, that means a lot. Thank you.
Hell yeah, of course. You're a big inspiration. You know, Kim's doing a lot of different things. Very big dot connector and shows mad love to artists. Yes. Like mad genuine love, you know. And you just keep it like mad low key too, you know? Like I feel like you're just so chill and like low key and like, you know, I'm just doing my thing. Like I'm not out here like.
Yeah, I just genuinely like love music. Yeah. So, and a lot of people can see that I'm just so passionate about music that I'm just really there to help artists, producers, labels. Like I'm not here for like the clout or whatever. So it's not like I'm trying to post like, you know, I'm just really here. I just love music.
Yeah.
So
I could see that.
So kind of talk about your come up because you originally did grow up here in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So I have a pretty interesting story because as you know, I come from a very Asian background. So I was really big in school and I actually went to an Ivy League called Cornell University and I studied hospitality.
That's like
I did
very
not know
crazy.
that.
Very prestigious school.
Yeah, so I was really about school, but during school, I've just always loved music. Even when I was growing up here, like I was listening to Tupac, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Snoop Dogg. So I just like, and I even went through like a Panic at the Disco phase.
Yes.
And, like I feel like we all did. Right?
All like real music lovers went
Back
through
Sunday,
those things. Oh my God, I love Taking Back Sunday.
And what's interesting is I think there's kind of like a new wave of that.
Like rock stars,
music.
yeah, exactly. Like a lot of rappers are trying to be rock stars now.
Did you hear Trippie Redd's new album?
I haven't heard, but I saw he worked with Travis
Barker.
Right? Yeah.
Like,
So
oh my
dope.
God, that's so dope.
Yeah.
And I just like love the versatility, like, you know, and it's like a lot of people that used to listen to like Travis Barker listen to Trippie Redd now. So like it just makes sense.
It's so cool to see. So then I just started DJing in college, like maybe my junior year. I was just really interested because I would be downloading music and I would actually be going to a lot of shows too. Like I used to see Skrillex. I don't know if you were into that phase too.
No.
Yeah, the EDM way.
I wasn't.
EDM way.
I never got into
And
EDM.
probably the age that we were at in college, like Avicii.
Yeah, Avicii.
Huge. And like those are like the parties.
Yeah,
like you'd have
exactly.
a really big EDM college party.
So I went to see, I loved Bass Nectar, and just seeing the vibe like of those shows, I was like, yo, it seems really cool to like be a DJ. So I was like, okay, let me try it. And then I started just being really like naturally good at my selections. Of course, like my transitions were really bad at first, but like people could tell like, okay, I have good taste. So I just started DJing like frat parties and like a club and at Cornell. So just started going from there. And then I still worked at a hotel after school. But in my mind, I was always thinking about like music. I was like, I need to do music. Like I'm so in love with it. And then I moved to New York, and then I just went for it. I like interned at a promotion company called Mean Red, and then they throw a lot of shows. And I was just working marketing or doing the door. But whenever they needed an opener, I would be there to open their shows. So
that's awesome.
It really just started
from
there. It was maybe like 6 years ago.
6 years ago? Okay.
When I first moved to New York.
Wow.
So, and then I just met more people, and it just really was like a train of like connections. So.
And that's a really smart way to do it too, like working with a promotion company, like seeing like how the business goes and kind of being on the inside, the outside, not the outside, but
a little bit of both. Yeah, I got to know how to book,
both.
and then working the door. Like it was really rough, like working the door outside when it was cold and snowing and raining. But I was like, I gotta do this. Like a lot of people think you could just go straight in and be a lit DJ, but it's like no, you really don't know like the process behind it. It actually takes a lot of work and like just putting yourself out there, not getting paid for the first couple times too. Like
totally. That's something we all have to do, unfortunately. Like it has to happen to just get yourself out there more, you know, get more connected.
For sure. So
that's good advice.
That was it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so at this point, you know, you kind of talked about wearing all these different hats. Do you consider yourself more of a manager, more of a dot connector, or more of a DJ?
I would say I guess I started off as like a DJ, but at the same time, I feel like all DJs are kind of A&Rs too. Like we're literally always looking for like the next new thing, because we want to be like the first people to play like a hot track, you know, or a hot artist. So I'm always looking for the next really cool artists that people might not know, because I would love, like I like being early on things, like playing Pop Smoke early, and then like half a year later everyone's playing Pop Smoke, like so it was just really cool. Like I just loved searching for new music. But like these days I would say I'm more like a talent developer and a dot connector. Like I love producers and beats too, so I love pairing producers with artists, or helping get them placements, or just like helping artists like develop too. So
I love that.
Helping them with the projects. I that's like really rewarding to me. Like to see that happen.
Yeah, you kind of
watch them grow.
Yeah, I watch them grow.
That's like the green thumb. You're watching them grow.
Exactly.
Who are some people that you're working with right now that you're really excited about? You think, oh yeah, they're up and coming.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually like working really closely with two artists. One, her IG name is Bloody Clip, but her name is Clip. She's from New York. She's really hard. Yeah, you've heard of her,
Yeah.
So she's dope. And then my other artists, they're sisters, called Bibi Monsuta, which means baby monsters in Japanese, and they're really dope. Yeah, they're just like so talented. They could sing, dance, songwrite, and they really put on a performance. Yeah, they're beautiful. So
their music's beautiful.
Really talented people. So that's just why I love like just supporting like young women, and just like I know they're talented, so just like giving them a little extra.
Yeah, and they need like women to help them come up too, and not just like men, you know. And what about Hook? You managed her before?
No, I'm just really good friends with Hook, and she's so awesome.
Dude, I love Hook.
Yeah, she's
like
the best.
You put me on to so many fire female artists, specifically like Nina Tech too. Yes. Love Nina Tech.
Yeah, they're so hard. And they're so
hard. And like Hook's music videos I've been seeing lately, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah,
like she's really going hard. Genius. And like, yeah, I just like, you have a great fucking ear for talent.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and like you also don't just work with like shitty people.
Yeah.
You know, like
I'm really
shitty
picky,
personality
actually.
people.
Yeah,
I know that about you, and like you're a Capricorn like me, so like I know like
what
you wouldn't be on that shit.
Cancer.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about Cancer, man.
I don't either.
I'm dead. But yeah, like I really love that too, because, you know, I like to work with people that are like on the same like energy level as me, you know, like nobody that's gonna like bring me down, and like people like that we're gonna like motivate each other and inspire each other and grow together, just like we're all just people, you know, like
it's so important.
And it's like weird coming out to LA, like it's very different from Boston. Like I love it. I fucking love it here. Like great vibes, great energy. Like it's just like the sun's always out, so everybody's always just like kind of in a good mood. But there is a lot of like
kind of fake
people and like just like people just saying shit to say it, and like, you know, I've noticed that a lot. But like, do you feel like even maybe moving to New York, you saw like how different, like how people are more like fucking real and like kind of mean, even, you know, like because
it was
people
definitely
are just like,
almost a culture shock, because I'm so used to being out here, and I'm very chill, and I'm always saying like, you're so used to saying good morning when you're walking past someone, but in New York you're not. They look at you crazy, so you like you kind of have to like learn that. You're like, okay, maybe I don't need to smile at everyone walking past me. So yeah, definitely there's definitely fakeness everywhere.
Yeah, totally.
But New York definitely they be keeping it real most of the time.
Right.
It definitely toughened my skin up, because I think it is really true. They said if you can make it in New York, you can make it in most places.
Yeah, and somebody said that to me that like recently too. Like if you can throw events in Boston, you can throw events in LA. And I was like, oh, okay, like that makes me feel good, because I feel like I have to do a lot and meet a lot of people, and like it will take a while for me to actually be able to throw an event here. But yeah, like I think it's cool to like move around and just like see other people, like work with different people,
for sure.
And then like, you know, it just makes you have a tougher skin, because in the music industry, like you need that shit. Like you need to have tough skin, especially as a female in the music industry, like even more, like you can't take shit from anybody. Like,
and they already like
people are already trying
really
to finesse you, not respect you, and like belittle you. So
you gotta work like 10 times as hard.
Do you feel like you've like kind of gone into situations where like you weren't feeling like you were being treated equally? Like you don't have to say anything specific, but like, you know, like maybe just something that made you realize it is harder to be a female in this scene, you know?
For sure. Like when I DJ, sometimes a lot of venues or security or even like the artist team, like they don't realize I'm actually supposed to be on stage. And they be like asking like, what are you doing here? And they see me like a little Asian girl like trying to get out on stage, and they kind of look at me really weird. But then always after they see me do my set, they'd be like, oh yeah, like you were dope. They get really surprised. So it's just like really just constantly having to prove yourself. But it's like, I like that challenge.
It's kind of like motivation, even more, you know, like I know I can do this, you know, like nothing's going to hold me back.
Exactly. And you just have to be really confident in like all situations, because I've gone to labels before too. And even just seeing there's definitely like female minority, there's definitely like people of color, like women is definitely still a minority in like labels. So it's just I definitely want to see more of like equality in those situations eventually.
And that's how we like make that change. We have to be part of it, you know? Like sometimes it just, like another thing I was like, I wanted to talk about too is just like labels and like kind of like, Hook isn't signed, is she?
Not yet.
She's not.
Yeah.
So like, do you like, how do you feel about artists getting signed? Do you want to see people being more independent artists? Like, what do you want to see? Like, maybe even change with the music, like the music industry, like labels, like all of that.
Yeah, because people say when you sign to a label, you're kind of selling your soul or signing your soul away, because they do have like a big say in like everything, like your creative process. They take some of your masters, just like everything. Like people don't realize like some of your advanced, like they give you all this money, but then you have to recoup it, or like so you don't really see money from your streams for a really long time. Yeah. So it is, you kind of are like the slave to a label.
Yeah, and like a lot of artists too that came from nothing, had no money, and now they have all this fucking money in their face.
But they sign like
what
a
do you
long
think
deal.
They're gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're gonna go spend their money and flex because that's what's cool. You know, like that's what's cool. Like,
and then they're stuck in a deal for like 5-6 years. That's what's gonna give them attention,
and then they're stuck in this deal. They don't have anybody like helping them with their money, like, you know, managing their money. And it's just like they're literally taking advantage of people like constantly. And that's what I see, and I just like I don't know, I just don't fuck with it. And I feel like we can maybe like move a different way, like
there's definitely a
more independent.
I think there should be a middle ground.
Still. Like a team is always like necessary for sure, but like somebody owning you and like controlling, like you know, what if somebody like it's turning more into like a money making thing than like a thing that people just want to do because they love to do it. You know, it's like you have to meet these deadlines. It's being more of like a work, like 9 to 5 mentality.
Or this song gotta be TikTok viral. You know, they be
they
really thinking about that. But labels definitely have a lot of advantages. That's why almost every successful artist is signed to a label. Like you kind of have to. So they do definitely have its advantages, but you definitely just got to read the contract to make sure you're not getting screwed over.
I feel you.
I want to talk about some of the events you did, some of your favorite events. What were those? And describe like the whole setup.
Well, I've opened for a lot of dope artists that were really like fire, like Gunna, Da Baby, and my favorite is Chief Keef.
He's your favorite?
Well, Young Thug, but Chief Keef is like my second. So it was really dope opening for Chief Keef. Like that was just like such a cool moment. It was just like being on the same stage as him. And Rico Nasty was dope. And my favorites are actually like I throw my own events too. So like where I curate everything from like the hosts, the DJs, the performers, the venues. And I started doing a series called Bad Girls Club. So it's kind of just that, like I had Hook on one, this girl named Abby Jasmine. So it's basically like all girls or LGBTQ people too. Like some of my gay friends be like hosting DJing. So it's just like a really dope vibe. So those are my favorite,
So talk about just like coronavirus, how you've thought about like adapting everything.
It definitely, I feel like it hit everyone out of nowhere. Like we all kind of had to adjust. Like first we were like, oh, maybe a month it'll be over, and then it just started going longer and longer, and we're like, okay, when is this ever gonna end?
And now it's just like here to
it's been a year,
I don't know.
But honestly, I was kind of already weaning out of DJing for more like artist development, so it kind of just allowed me to focus on my artists even more. So it was like, I feel like it was a good transition, and I came home, so I spent more time with my family. So there was definitely advantages and benefits of it. Like I got to slow down. I was just like going at a really crazy pace in New York, like going out every day, like networking every day. So this really just forced us to like take it slow.
I wanted to ask you about the Cyber World event.
Oh yeah.
You DJ'd for Snot and somebody else,
and
right?
BK the Ruler.
And BK the Ruler. Talk about that event and what it's like to be the DJ when there's no crowd.
It's definitely different, but the Cyber World, I don't know if you guys seen it, they actually made it so cool. Like the production was crazy.
I really like the production,
the floor, so it actually felt like the real thing. Like we were like so hype and lit, so it definitely felt cool. But I guess it's hard because most DJs or artists, we like kind of interact with the crowd. So I didn't really say much because I didn't know what to say. Like put your hands up, you know. put some emojis in the chat. I don't know. It was just like a difference. I was just doing the music mostly, but I feel like this is like a game changer, like virtual events now. Like
for sure, right? Yeah. It's not going away.
Yeah, I think even when Corona is done, I think that will still be like a thing.
Because it's so doable,
yeah,
right?
and it's like everyone from
operational.
Yeah, and everywhere. I mean, everyone from everywhere can watch it at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, so they had like Playboy Cardi headline, and like there was like so many thousands of people at the same time watching him perform on New Year's. So it's pretty cool.
I love crowd, like seeing a crowd,
the
like
crowd
all
definitely
vibe together, like people that may have nothing in common.
For sure.
At all.
Yeah.
But they're all vibing to this song.
I know it's hard for the artists.
It's just like the energy is just like, oh, I love that energy. And like, I hate DJing on my like live or
me too.
Shit like that.
That's
like,
why I haven't been doing it. Yeah.
I'll do it because I'm like, oh, I want people to like, see what I'm doing. But I'm like, I hate this shit. Like, it just
definitely. It's not the same. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I love
just
crowd
like cannot wait
too.
to DJ for a crowd.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely different.
Have you DJ'd anything out here?
Yeah, just like some small
other
pop-ups.
Than I went to something you DJ'd.
Oh yeah. It was Chavo's listening party.
Oh yeah, the Chavo event.
There's some small pop-ups here and there, but nothing crazy.
So when you were traveling a lot and stuff, what's like your favorite state for crowds?
Well, I think it was just the event because I DJ'd for artists at Rolling Loud, and just like that crowd is so lit. I've DJ'd at the Miami one and the San Francisco one and the New York one.
Okay.
And probably the New York one was the best because I DJ'd for City Morgue, which is just like a crazy like metal rap. Like they're so dope. They're so dope. So their fans like be so into it and they're moshing. So that was one of the best DJs like experiences I've had.
I went to Rolling Loud New York as well.
Oh really?
The first, and I'm like so thankful because that was kind
I went to Rolling
like
Loud
right
New York.
before.
Right.
We went to one right after that, right?
I went to
one?
LA.
Yeah.
But yeah, super good event, and I'm looking forward to those coming back. For sure.
I want to know like about artist development. Like, what do you do? Because like, I don't know, that's something like I kind of wanted to do. Like, I was trying to like connect producer. I mean, I do it all the time. Like, I always put people onto each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like, how do you do that? Like, how is that structured? Like,
there really
what is like a normal day?
Yeah.
Like, what is a normal day with you? Like, linking up with an artist? Like, what do you? What kind of do you like kind of pick beats for them? Like, do they like give you all their trust, or like do people give you like I mean, like, you don't work with a bunch of people, so obviously the people you're working with are trusting your judgment and like what you think is best for them.
I think that's definitely the first step, is just like having like a credential and like having them respect you, so like they trust you. So that's definitely the first step. And because a lot of artists and producers, they just be like watching me and they're like, oh, like she's definitely working hard. So then they just trust me with their music.
Yeah.
And then just being natural. Like, I really just freestyle, so you don't really know.
Yeah.
But you really do just be like naturally helping them out. Like, oh, like this guy's cool, and let me pair them together. I think they'd be dope. And it's like you can't really force anything too.
Love
so
that.
it's just like you're just
it's
kind of
just
natural.
like not like a like. It doesn't have to be like a work mentality. Like, it doesn't have to be so like written out and like we have to do this and that and this and that. It's just like natural, and like that's beautiful.
Right.
Like, that's how everybody should like be working, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Just doing something you love to do.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
dope.
Yeah, and then just whatever connections I have like with like PR, or if this person's booking this performance, and I just try to think about who would fit with that. So just really like working your connections with people.
So is every day different for you right now?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you just never
that.
know. Yeah, I could be on emails most of the day, or meetings, or some days like when my artist is in town, then I'm like more on hand, like going with her to things like at studio sessions. Yeah, studio sessions are like my favorite. Like
we didn't talk about that yet.
It's just
I
like
would
so
love
cool.
to come to a studio session.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been just wanting to go to the studio with people and just vibe.
It's the best because you could really see the magic happen.
Yeah.
What's an example of someone
later.
you were in with that you were like, wow, like?
I mean, Hook is dope in the studio. Like, she just be like, she could really rap for hours. Like, when she was in New York, we would be at the studio till like 4 or 5, like 6 a.m.
Wow.
Like, she's just going. So she was really fun.
How old is she?
She's still young. I think she's like the early 20s.
Early 20s, that's what I thought.
Yeah. And then
and she's from out here.
Yeah, she's from Riverside.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. A lot of crossover. New York and LA.
Rep in Riverside. Yeah, exactly. So she was dope. I've seen her and BK the Ruler record together too, and that was really fun. Who else? Clip is dope. My girls, BB Monsuta. So yeah, and I'm really close with this producer named Bankroll Got It. He does a lot of fire beats, so he would just.
I like him a lot.
Yeah,
very familiar.
he's
Now,
dope.
is he from Philly?
Yeah, he's from. I'm not sure where he's from actually. Definitely, maybe from the Bay, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, from the Bay, but he has a really fire studio in LA now, so a lot of artists be going there. It has like a neon light, yeah, so it's like a club vibe. So sometimes I would just be going, and I just love to see like their work ethic is crazy. So a lot of dope artists be going there, yeah. So they're really doing their thing.
I want to talk about Young Thug since we.
That's what we gotta talk about.
We can all. You guys fuck with him too?
Heavily.
Yeah.
Well,
not as much as you.
Yeah.
I can't compare.
But that I definitely judge people if they say they don't like Young Thug.
I definitely like him, and I actually started fucking with him more when I saw him live.
Okay, yeah.
I went to the 21 Savage and Young Thug tour, and dude, like,
High Horse,
he put on a crazy performance. I was like amazed. I was like, at this point I had to get out of the crowd because I was like suffocated after 21 and all the openers, so I backed up and I was just watching, like literally sitting down in a chair because there was like little chairs there to sit. And I'm sitting there and watching, and I'm just like amazed. Like, he's not lip syncing, nothing.
Right.
Like, seeing him perform, I was like, whoa. Like, I never like listened to him that heavy. Like, I listened to him, of course, but like I wasn't like bumping him heavy.
But he's
so I
cool.
just like respected him so much more.
And he's like so tall and skinny. He just looks cool. Yeah. He just looks dope. Sure. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'll tell my Young Thug story. And
yeah.
you can talk.
We can all tell our Young Thug stories.
I was onto him pretty early, but I don't know. I think that real inflection point for him was Stoner and Danny Glover came out.
Course.
He got a lot of
Danny
like
Glover.
looks from like big artists after that, and then this whole like him being kind of entered into the Cash Money realm that helped him out. So around that time, that 2 B's is what they like ended up calling that song, and that video came out.
The video
and that
is so
video,
fire.
that BLB video, and it's just like horrific, and like Thug just had all these fits, like this huge fur coat and the umbrella, and I was like
this guy's
Is
crazy.
this? Like, what is this? And yeah, just like, because his vocalization, his like vocal performance is like what makes him so like masterclass. And then from there, I was like, gotta see him. Okay, so I went to that really famous venue in New York that's like that got closed down kind of recently, Webster Hall.
Oh, okay,
And so I went to see him there. I drove there without any tickets to the show. And then I just bought tickets off people after pulling up just on the street. And I went in, and it was Thug, Travis Scott, Metro Boomin, like 2015. Like I just
That's
like
legendary.
I skipped class and just went to it.
What?
And it was just like out of control.
Show, right?
It was out of control. It was like, probably one of the best shows I've ever been to.
That's so dope.
And then from there, it's like, I need to get involved. I need to like do stuff inside of hip hop. So Young Thug for me is like I'd say Eminem is the reason I love hip hop music, and Young Thug is the reason why I like work in hip hop music.
For sure. Yeah, he's just like, he really inspired me too, because he came out of like nowhere, and it was just like, yo, his voice was, I was just like, yo, his voice is crazy, and the way he just be like making sounds.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, but you could feel his emotion too. So it's like he's making sounds, but it's like his emotions. So like a lot of people don't understand that at first, because I was really hip to him early, but he didn't really get his respect till I feel like last year. Really, like technically,
which is unbelievable.
Which is
he's
crazy.
like 15 albums in.
Right. Like the Billboard, like finally, like his last album, So Much Fun, finally got more recognition. But it was just like, I just like was so interested in his sounds, and I also loved Gucci Mane, and Gucci Mane really brought him up. And yeah, I just like been a fan ever since I heard him. Like it was so crazy. And then I have a really interesting story too that people don't really even know, but I've actually met him at a studio session in New York too.
Wow. You did?
Yeah. A lot of people don't know.
When was this? Like recently?
It was like last year, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Because I remember like last time we talked about like you wanting to meet him one day, but like
everyone was saying
point.
I'm manifesting it,
oh my God,
and I definitely
totally
manifested.
did.
Because I would, in my Instagram, you'll see like I'd be photoshopping me and Young Thug together.
Oh, okay, right, and they're fake. Yeah.
Even just pictures of him too.
Yeah.
Where it's like you really manifested that shit. It works,
Exactly.
guys.
Photoshop you with your favorite artist, and it'll happen. So it was just like a low key studio session.
Amazing.
Yeah, but I was talking like I was trying to be chill, but then we made eye contact. So I was like, all right, I gotta say hi. I gotta say hi. So I was just like, yo, like I really like appreciate all you've done for music. Like I respect you. And then I was showing him some stuff on my phone because I've actually opened for his sisters too, like Laura and Dolly, and I'm friends with his engineer and all that. And then I forgot that my screensaver was him. So I was showing him, and then he was like, "Oh wow!" So I just looked like a huge super fan. Yeah,
that's so funny.
I was like, I was trying to play it off. I was like, I forgot that was like my screensaver.
He loved it. I bet he loved it.
He was like, oh wow, and he like laughed. But he was mad cool. Like sometimes they say like you don't want to meet your idol because they always disappoint you. But he was actually mad cool, so I respected him even more after that.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm so happy you got to meet him.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So cool.
Yeah. So yeah, and I just love everything he's like done for music. Like he really brought people up to like Lil Key, Lil Balde, and he's like influenced the whole wave
so
of
many
rappers.
artists.
Yeah.
And I saw, isn't NGYL with 300 Entertainment now too? And that's crazy because I heard about him through Young Icy, through you. Yeah. So. It's fucking crazy, you know?
Yeah, and
I love that.
And Young Icy said he signed to 300 because he loved Young Thug too. So it's just like a lot of rappers really respect him. Like he definitely has a lot of respect in the hip hop industry with rappers. Yeah.
Hell yeah, he's done a lot for the hip hop industry for sure. What are your favorite Young Thug songs? Let's say like top
It's definitely hard.
Top 5 if you want, because top 3 might be too hard.
Yeah. Well, like I feel like he doesn't have a bad song. Even his features.
But are there any songs that you just you get extra nostalgic?
For
maybe
sure, Danny Glover is one.
Me too.
Danny
I can
definitely.
think of me driving in New York, bumping that too.
And when Nicki Minaj got on the remix, I was like, that verse was so fire, and it was definitely a moment for him. And then he ended up having a few songs with Nicki Minaj, so that was so fire. And I really like Check. Check always gets me hype.
It's this very people are looking at that as oh yeah, that's one of the classics.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
For sure. Totally. It's so lit.
That and Best Friend.
Yes, and Best Friend gets me hyped too. But Check is it's just such a cool vibe. It's it's not hype, but it gets you hyped because it's kind of slow, but it's it's just the whole vibe. And then I really liked his Jeffrey album when he was wearing that iconic dress.
Oh yeah.
That whole album, he named the songs after his influences. There was one called Riri Swag, Floyd Mayweather, Harambe, which is iconic. Yeah. I was he named one of his influences Harambe. Right. But Floyd Mayweather was one of my favorites. It had like Travis Scott, Gucci, and Gunna. So I was just like, that's so dope. And they all had really good verses on that. So that was one. Yeah, there's so many. Best Friend,
there's so many.
Digits. I love Barter 6 too. And Slime Seasons. Yeah, the one where he had like the bloody eye patch. Like, yeah,
that one's really good.
He's such a visual artist.
Exactly.
That's the other thing is like he's just like created this really compelling world and the slime and like everything with the snakes.
Slime Season,
like,
the snake
he's really
slat.
created a whole universe for himself. And something I want to see him do because I think. Not that he's lacking, but like Travis Scott has this iconic merch where it's like everybody wears it, you see it everywhere. And I think this next album cycle, he needs to get something like that, where it's like it's just so like grabs your attention and it's just on that level of like, you know, the V loan and all this other stuff.
I think it's starting a little bit because he has now his spider worldwide.
The spider, and those jackets.
Yeah, it's kind of hit. Yeah, it's kind of fire. But they're still very small and exclusive.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But I mean, I think that's kind of where you want to start it, and then
it'll grow.
Like, okay, we'll have some.
I know. I've been trying to get something from spiders so hard.
Yeah. My friend has a sweatsuit. It's like, I think it's green.
Yeah, no, they're dope.
Yeah.
They're dope.
So dope. I love bedazzled shit.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you have any other like shout outs, anything like that? Anything on top of your mind or that you're excited for?
I guess shout out my mom. Her birthday's coming up.
Yay.
Pisces, right.
My mom's a Pisces too.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And we're Capricorn.
That is
and
right. What are you?
My mom's birthday was just the other day.
Wow. Yeah, that's why I have a soft spot for Pisces.
Wow.
Like my mom's like really the sweetest person. So, and she's really been supportive. Like even though she's really Asian, she doesn't understand the music industry.
Yeah.
So it has been like a struggle, like trying to prove to her that I am like making my way up. But she's still like a great mom and loves me. So it's been supportive. So definitely shout out my family.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. Like, I'm so happy we got to like catch up too in this way. But I'm just like really excited for you and like I'm proud of you for everything you've done and like you're just such an inspiration and I'm sure like anybody watching this too is gonna be inspired by this.
No, I really appreciate that.
You know, like even like people being inspired to be a DJ maybe after listening to you, or even like an artist, like helping out artists and everything, you know. So yeah, it's like dope to see your growth and like how far you've come and like, you know, everything you had to go through. Like I never even knew like some of the things you told me today, you know. So, like, it's dope to, like, hear about that process and where you are now.
Yes. No, thank you guys so much.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right. FREQ Podcast. We're signing out. See you next week.